All right, good morning. Let's make a start standing up. Let's start by kind of spiraling from the top of the body down. So let's drop the head to the right and back, soft jaw, and all the way around. You can close your eyes because we'll take another rotation in this direction, and we're going to stay in this direction as we slowly add on movement into the arms, the shoulders, around the ribs. So when you feel ready, keeping in this direction, start to spiral with the arms. The arms will come across the body. Try to keep the knees slightly soft, so we'll engage the core gently to support the lower back. So we are flexing forwards, side, lateral flexion, a little bit of a spine extension, concentrating on the upper back. Stay in direction, a couple of times, nice easy flow. Don't try to go to your end range. We're just waking up the whole body. We can circle the wrists. Yawn if you need to. You can clasp the opposite wrist hand. Once more in this direction, and then we'll change direction. So no straining the lower back, so the knees can be slightly soft, so you can get a little bit of a pelvic tilt. And then let's take it the other way. Just the head over to the left, back. Heavy arms, soft jaw, all the way around. And as soon as you feel ready, we can make this a bigger movement. You can support the head or extend the arms, but just going slow enough that you can feel the stretch all the way around the body. But also you could freeze at any moment in time. We're supporting the body throughout this flexion, extension, concentrating on the upper body with a nice heavy head. Twice more in this direction, then we'll just concentrate on the hips with that hula hoop motion of the hips. When you're ready, come up to standing, hands on the hips, support the crease at the tops of the legs, and let's circle. In the thigh stretch, really press the bottom cheeks down as we press the hips forwards. So we're thinking about length in that lower spine, all the way sides. And so we can start with this being a really small movement and just feel the pelvis drawing a circle on the floor, and then maybe deepen into it. Allow the upper body to go wherever it feels naturally it wants to go without straining. Let's take those circles in the other direction. Supporting the back wherever. Always not being shy to give yourself a good rub. Helps the ears out, any strain there. There may be any tension in the lower back. Amazing, lovely. Let's keep the legs wide, hands on the thighs, and take a twist for the spine. So knees are bent, this front arm straight, and then the other way. So pressing the knee out, so we're getting that external rotation of the hip, inner thigh stretch, spine twist. And you take one more each side while I talk you through what we're doing next. We're going to have feet hip distance apart. We'll take a balance, heels lifted. We'll swan dive the arms down into a chair. As if we're gathering some energy through the core, we're going to lift one knee, stepping back and returning. Okay, you're ready to do it with me. We're going to do it in stages. So feet hip distance apart. So we've got hips, knees, ankles, that lovely parallel line, shoulders back and down. Squeeze the glutes, and as you rise up through the heels, see if you can feel like you're almost leaning back and being drawn up. So we're trying to lift directly up to avoid this kind of whoosh coming up to standing. So thinking about that pelvic tilt and trying to keep as vertical a line as possible. Are we ready? So heels come up, squeeze the glutes, float the arms up in parallel, up over, slightly in front of the body. Now spread the weight over the balls of the feet. Remember, we'll press down slightly together, inner thighs strong. Let's swan dive the arms down, feeling the shoulder blades moving as we lower the heels, following through, weight into the heels, long spine, long neck. Let's peel the shoulders back the way we would in a cobra. So there's some engagement between the shoulder blades, long spine. Now here, arms, airplane arms. Feel like you're gathering energy. So find some resistance, use your core, and we'll start with the right knee lifting. So it's a scoop in the abs, rise up to the toes, maybe the knees comes up to the chest, pause, and then glide the leg back. We're on the ball of the foot. See if we can slowly, with control, find a balance and lift the arms. You've done it. So we're coming back to standing. We're going to do the same thing, but we'll be leading with the left leg. So body weight forwards, glide back to our starting position. Off we go. Squeeze the glutes, rise directly up, balls of the feet down, lift the heels as high as they'll go. So we've got that flexion in the toes, heels are high, calf muscles really strong, inner thighs working, glutes, your bottom cheeks pulling you together, and then a lift up through the pelvic floor. Swan dive the arms down, working through the rotator cuff, knees tracking over the toes. I can still see my toes. Open the chest out wide, bottom tucked, core strong. Now left leg, when you're ready, like you're gripping, press through the hands and lift the knee. Glide all the way back, find your balance, lower. So we're in a high lunge. In a moment, we'll add on a side bend, there's no rush. Just enjoy that stretch with the hip flexors initially, and then body weight forwards and back to standing. Okay, now we know what we're doing. Breathe in, rise up through the heels. Pause to stabilize. Shoulders melt back and down, chair. Take the right knee up and back. Lift the upper body, fingertips to the ceiling, shoulders down, chest open wide. Breathe in, left hand to the left hip. Now reach up and over, maintaining a pelvic tilt. This is all about this psoas here. Stretching into the fingertips. Return, body weight forwards and other side. Breathe in, squeeze, rise up. Reach into the fingertips, but shoulders down. A smile across the chest, glutes strong. Float the arms down, pause in this long line, base of the spine to the crown of the head, and left knee rises. Take the leg back and pause. Tilt the pelvis, find the stretch from the front of the thigh. Breathe deeply, right hand to the right hip. Now reach up and over, maintaining that pelvic tilt. Wonderful, we've just got one more set. Back to standing. Breathe in, rise up. Breathe out to chair. Breathe in, right knee lifts. Breathe out to a high lunge. Breathe in, stretch. Breathe out, right arm up and over. Return. Last side. Breathe in, arms lift, heels lift. Squeeze the glutes, try and find something that's not moving. Breathe out, float the arms, heels down, chest open. Lift and glide back. Find your balance. Pause, hand on the hip, reach up and over, shoulders down. Enjoy the stretch for the front of the hip, no arching in the lower back. You've done it. Lower the arm and step together. Let's shake out the hips. A nice little jiggle on each leg. So for our sun salutations, kind of sun salutations, we'll just do like yesterday, linking left and right with a down dog. So when you're ready, come to the front of your space. We're looking at reverse warrior into a kind of Parsvattanasana. Let's work it. Shoulders back and down, take a deep breath in, stretch and reach for the ceiling. Breathe out, swan diving the arms down, come to a forward fold, hands brushing the backs of the legs, ragdoll fold, let the head hang. Our first proper fold of the day, so let's just pause for a moment. Take a halfway lift, 90-degree angle between the legs and the chest. Now, step your right foot, I'm going to mirror you, step your right foot back. Lower the heel, and we're cartwheeling with this right arm all the way back and over into our reverse warrior. And we're reaching overhead. Take a moment to stretch wide. Press the feet into the floor, squeeze the glutes. And then let's windmill the arms down, chest open wide. Don't worry about touching the floor, just reaching. Let's breathe into a reverse warrior. Keep the front knee bent, breathe out. Windmilling the arms down. So working the muscles the side of the waist, but really using the legs for that stable base. Last time, and then we'll lift the back heel. Step back to a down dog. Take a moment to pedal it through from one foot to the other. Lovely. So this time, we're going to step the other foot forwards and turn around. So that mirroring you. So we lower your left heel at an angle and backstroke that left arm up and over into a reverse warrior. Pause to feel the stretch down the back of the legs, gripping the floor with the feet, and then windmill the arms down into a wide wingspan stretch. Try to move with the breath, nice and calm, glide, flow, reaching that, occupying more space each time. Last couple. Relax the shoulders down. Keep a squeeze in the glutes. And a nice deep flowing breath in and out of the nose. Let's have the hands to the floor and step to the front. Nose on the knees, straighten up the legs. Reverse swan dive, the arms all the way up. Hands meet and back to heart center. Brilliant. We've just got one more round. This will be a warrior 2 into a high lunge. I'm going to face you and I'll mirror you for this one. Breathe in and open the chest, reach up. Breathe out into your fold. Hold the calves, the ankles, bow the head. Take a halfway lift. Warrior 2, we're stepping back with your right foot. Step back, lower the heel, 90-degree angle. We have heel to arch alignment. Right arm, windmills, back strokes all the way back. We're in warrior 2. Arms parallel to the floor, shoulders back and down. Now, the back arm is going to sweep down by your side as we lift the back heel and come forwards. Now, keep going with the arm, but lower the heel, warrior 2. There's your link. So the arm comes down, heel lifts, and then back down with the exhalation. So 2 more. Let the arm melt down, nice soft line on the outer neck there. And shoulders back and down, slight tilt in the pelvis. Last time. Reaching up, pelvic tilt. We've warmed up the hip muscles and lower down. We're cartwheeling the hands down, down dog for our link. Step that left foot back, pedal it through. And this time it's your right foot stepping forwards. Right foot forwards, lower your left heel, 90-degree angle. Backstroke, left arm forwards, up, back and down. Find that long line, pelvic tilt, shoulders down, chins tucked. Same thing. Back arm follows through. Lift the back heel and come to high lunge. And breathe in, reach up and open to your warrior 2. We need to be careful with this knee that it doesn't gradually sink down as we get tired. Carry on, breathing in, reaching up, always with the pelvic tilt, front knee still bent. Breathing out, so we're just pivoting with that back foot. Last couple of times. So you can see with a high lunge, we actually have a space between the legs. And then as we come to warrior 2, the front heel is in line with the back arch. Let's have one last round. And then it'll be hands to the floor. And we'll step to the front. So when you're ready, hands to the floor, step your back foot forwards, chest on the thighs, shake out the head, and we're going to take a slow roll up through the spine. Head last to come up, start to straighten the legs, rebuild the spine, and at the very top, let's roll the shoulders back and down. A little bit of release for the shoulders, arms out wide. Now ring the arms forwards and back. Twice more, ringing forwards, chin can come to the chest, and back, shoulders back and down, release out the neck last time. We're gonna then move into working towards a revolved half moon. Okay, shrug out the arms. Now let's look at the feet being slightly wider than hips, toes turned out. Initially, we're going to lift the back heel so we're facing or we're lined up with this left leg. Opposite hand's going to tap the floor and then lift. We'll come back to our starting position. So pivoting on the back foot, lead through and we tap. Nice big open line with the arms and a continuous movement, that swiveling and a tap, open and tap. Slower the better. Now you will find that actually as we tap the floor, we're going to counterbalance. We can soften this leading front knee and lightly lift the back leg. So this is how we can really gently, mindfully, and with strength and integrity, gradually find a lift in the back leg without forcing, just when you're ready to. And just think about this as, you know, the path to the revolved half moon as being like a deep forest full of pine trees. And each time we take a repetition, we're just pushing the path further through that forest, dense underground, so that we can allow the brain to catch up and engage all the muscles needed. So I hope you're gradually finding your way into fingers to the floor and taking some weight out of the back leg, however briefly. Breathing in always into that lift, breathing out for the engagement in the core. The back hand can just support the hip. Continuous movement with breath. You're practically meditating. So it doesn't matter how deeply we go into this. We're rotating the spine health, hamstring stretch, arms, chest open wide, all the postural muscles. One more each side. You're doing really well. Just to keep moving side to side. We're also moving really mindfully with the legs, the knee. We keep the knee tracking over the toes. Last time each side. So here you may want to have a go at maintaining a lift in the back leg. If we're going to be fussy, we can look back at the toes and try and dial the hip down. So kneecap and toes pointing down to the floor. Breathing deeply, we're looking down at the floor in front of the toes. And only if you feel you've got your stability, we can lift that back arm. Have a go on the other side, and then we're moving on. You've done so well. So we pivot round, support the lower back. I like to bend this front knee to come into standing balance and then straighten. When you've got your balance, you can look back, and most of us have to work actively to dial the lifted hip down. Maybe we take a lift. Slowly come out of this. Toe and heel the feet in, and then just kick back a couple of times. Brilliant. We're going to come to sit down on our mats. Legs out in front of you. We'll start with Janusasana. We could call it nose to knee, but my nose isn't going to be on my knee this morning. So come to sit, legs out in front of you. Let's start with the right foot into the groin, knee out to the side, external rotation of the hip. Reaching the arms up with an open chest. So you're having to use your core to really lengthen up. The knee trying to reach down to the floor to maintain that external rotation. Puff the chest out, stretch to the ceiling. Try and press this straight leg into the floor, really active the back of the knee so your thigh muscles switch on. With an out breath, we're stretching forwards and up, and we're melting down over the legs. So we can hold wherever we've got a secure hold, but I would concentrate on letting the head hang initially so we can get a release in the back of the neck. And then hands literally wherever you feel comfortable. We're here for maybe, let's say, 3-4 rounds of breath. So you can ease yourself in, you can rock gently side to side, but we're not forcing anything. Because we've got 3-4 rounds of breath, you can close your eyes, go into the body, and see if you can add a micro wave into the body where we breathe in and back off slightly, and we breathe out then and fold into the leg. Nice deep breath, Ujjayi breaths. Good time to use that nice strong breath. You can squeeze the back of the leg if it's being a little bit tight. At the end of your next exhalation, head last to come up, pace your hands back. We're going to take the Sage Marishi bind. This bent leg, the right leg, place the foot on the floor. Right arm on the inside of the knee and reach towards your toes. Don't worry where you get to. It's more about getting that lean in the body. Now, maybe today we're just holding the outside of the leg and twisting so your chest comes forwards. Maybe if this knee is right up near your armpit, we can turn, bend the elbow around the back. And for now, let's just open this left arm out wide, chest open wide. Try to press the foot into the floor and this extended leg into the floor and lengthen through the spine. Breathe deeply, 3 breaths. You can close the eyes. Let's have the chin nodded into the chest and try and maintain a wide smile across the chest, the clavicles. On the end of the next exhalation, we're taking the leg now into an internal rotation. So foot out wide and let the knee drop down. If it comes all the way to the floor and you can open out the top of the foot to the floor, that's great. If this feels okay, we can take it into a reclining position and try to get the crease of the top of the leg up to the ceiling by pressing the knee down. No forcing here, just a nice quad stretch into the hip flexors. Take a moment, breathe deeply, and then we're over to the other side. So it's the knee bent Janisasana, Sage Marishi, and then this half hero Virasana pose. Wherever you are in this internal rotation, slowly come up. Let's have both legs out in front and roll from bottom cheek to bottom cheek. Give them a good massage and let all that soft tissue blob and wobble side to side. We want nice, soft, healthy, youthful muscles. So we're on the other side. Other foot into the groin, sitting up tall, chest open wide. Try to guide this knee down, maybe help it with that external rotation. Now, arms up to the ceiling, chest open wide, press this straight leg into the floor. We're all on leg B. And as you breathe out, let's stretch forwards and down and take hold. So initially head down nice and soft. Any movement here is fine, waving side to side. Remember the hamstrings, it's a bundle of muscles. So we want to get softness and length across that belly of muscle there. 3 breaths, so you can close your eyes, go inside the body. And breathing deeply, just notice the impacts of the in-breath, the lengthening, and the softening that comes with the exhalation. No forcing. Use your fingers right into the muscles and the backs of the legs, just to give you that sensory reminder to the brain. It's all fine to soften and lengthen. The end of the next exhalation, head last to come up, pace the hands back. The bent leg, foot to the floor. Straight leg, toes flexed up to the ceiling. So the knee that's bent, corresponding arm reaches inside the knee and forwards. And let's take a moment to find where we want to hold on to the straight leg in order to twist. This doesn't help, I'm wearing all black, does it? Hopefully you can get a sense of what I'm doing here. So arm on the inside of the knee, sitting up tall, reaching maybe the back of the hand on the outside of the leg, and your free arm to help open the chest out wide, lengthen through the spine, chin slightly tucked. Think about a rod up the spine. Think how long we can be. Now, if we've got a good length and flexion here, we can maybe wrap the arm to add the bind. Breathing deeply in and out to the nose, 3 breaths, and then we take the hero pose, half hero. But because we're on the second side, if you find you can take the full hero pose, this will be a good time to do it. Beautiful. Hand to the floor, the lifted knee, just let it roll in, release the foot, and just see how that feels. We can take some of the weight out of the hip if that's too deep, or add on, and we're taking a couple of breaths here to stretch out the front of the thigh. So it's here, if you feel you can take both feet on either side of the hips, the knees together, and we can recline. Up to you, you can take it all the way to the full reclining hero, Supta Virasana. For all of us, whichever stage you're at, we've got that internal rotation of the hips, and 3 full breaths in and out of the nose. Try and find softening and calm and stillness through the body. To come out, we'll come back onto the forearms, up onto the hands, and same thing, just shake out the legs and have a rock side to side. We're going to come onto our backs, hug the knees into the chest. We'll take kind of Unedited to a boat sort of movement. Last couple of minutes. All right, chin tucked into the chest, knees into the chest, shoulders back and down. So here we're at Apanasana, any niggles on your knees, hold at the back of the knees always. All right, when you're ready, extend the legs like you're pushing something away, keep the spine imprinted. So we'll breathe in, knees in, try to keep the nose closer in the hip level. Breathe out, press, tummy bottom back to the spine, ribs together, spine imprinted. So moving with the breath. If your neck's comfortable, we can hold the head in the hands and add a curl up. So press through the feet, engage, and let's make it a nice, easy, gentle flow, matching the breath. Slowing the movement down, we can squeeze the ankles together, the knees together, so the inner thighs are engaged. If you're holding the head, try to take the weight of the head, so we're not straining the neck. Last couple, and then we've just got a nice knee sway to ease out the hips. We've got very few repetitions now, so you can really afford to challenge yourself, maybe go a little bit lower, but only if you're not arching the back. If you need to kind of reset and re-imprint the spine, do so. Never compromise. If you can be slightly more comfortable, secure, do it. Let's say 3 more, and then you can take a full body stretch. So rather than stop, have a go at just reducing the intensity. Try to just take a small extension of the legs and return. Make sure your face is soft, jaws soft. Try to feel the front ribs coming together and tummy button for these last 2. Really tuck the navel right under the ribs. Pelvic floor, squeeze the glutes. And last one, if you're still with me. Point the toes, shoulders down, squeeze, engage. Tight, that shrink wrapping hip, zipping up tight jeans, and then lower down and take a full body stretch. For our spinal twist, arms out in a wide T, feet wider than the mat, and just allow the knees to drop to one side. The hip will lift, rotating the spine Using your spare hand, you can let or help the hip come into that lifted position. No forcing. Off and over to the other side. Drop the knees. Feel the rotation of the spine. Try and keep both shoulders down to the floor. So getting a stretch internally and externally, rotating hips, rotating the spine. Once more each side, just letting the knees flop side to side. And it's already time. Hopefully you're feeling nicely stretched.